If I mark it as test new safe for an example, if I see the owners again for this, you can see administrator is added default with the default with all permissions. Ideally, whenever you create a safe with any user, that user would inherit all the rights. But this particular administrator, auditor, backup, master are some users which would have all rights on the safe. So these are the default users which are created. Administrator would have the admin level rights, auditor would have the auditor level rights. So if we see the auditors here, you can see they have just right to monitor the safes. So what are the safe level activities are there? Let's say if somebody has deleted some account, somebody has onboarded some account, somebody has done some modification to the account, maybe somebody has updated the address of the onboarded account, somebody has changed the name of the onboarded account. So whatever the activity someone does on a safe, that would be captured under safe activity report, and that safe activity report can be retrieved by the auditors. So whosoever is sitting as an auditor would have the authority to do so. Then we have the backup user. So if you see the permission for this backup user, it is just a backup safe. So they have an authority to capture the backup. They can retrieve the backup. Whatever the changes are you are doing on the safe, they are the backup user will make sure that everything is replicated to the backup site. So this is the purpose of backup. And if you see the DR user also, they also have the backup safe rights. So both the backup user as well as the DR user, they have the same rights, but there are differences that we are going to discuss once we move on to the DR. So, so you can see there are a lot of users here. Now, some of them are interactive. That means you can log into with the username and password. So let's say if I want to log in with the administrator, I can log into my vault here. But there are certain users which are meant for internal processing. They are not meant to be interactive users. So they are mix and match of the interactive users as well as the internal users. So this administrator, auditor, and vault admins are basically the interactive users. You can make a login with them as well as the master user. Okay. But backup user is something which is intended for the internal processing. So it basically generates a backup of your entire vault to a backup site. DR user also does the same thing. It generates a backup of your entire vault site to the DR location. Notification engine is something which sends the notification to your mailbox. So I will show you how to integrate the SMTP server, wherein you can send the notification from the CyberArk to your SMTP server. So whatever the changes you are performing in the vault, or maybe if some component is down, replication is not happening, backup is not happening, the account is not getting changed, the password of an account is not getting changed or reconciled or verified, the notification would be issued to your mailbox. So this particular user looks after the SMTP, or I would say the SMTP integration or the mailbox integration. Then comes the operator user, or I should say the operator group. So this is also needed for restoring the vault. So we will see more in details. I'm just skipping these of as of now these things. So as of now, we are interested into the administrator, auditor, and the vault admins. Vault admins is nothing but just like in a server we have the local administrator group. In this application, we have the vault admin group. So they anyone who is a member of this particular group would inherit all sort of rights. You can see that everything is checked out for this particular group over here. Okay, so Vault is something the overall storage engine, and under Vault we have subsets called Safe. Under Safe, you would be adding the accounts and there would be members who would have access to those accounts. So whatever the permission you provide to to those members, accordingly they would be able to access the accounts. So it would be kind of mix and match. You will not be giving all the permissions to all the users. Maybe you would pick up some user as an auditor, you will pick up some user as an administrator, you will pick up some user as an authorizer as well. So let's say if you have enabled a workflow that the request has to be approved by someone, then only someone should be able to see the password. So in the safe level, you would provide him permission like an approver permission with the approver rights. So whenever somebody wants to check in, he needs to get an approval from that person. Once he approves the request, then only the other person would be able to see the password or maybe able to connect the a target machine with that. So any questions, guys, till now? Feel free to stop me If there are any questions in your mind, let me know. So I think it's all clear till now. So you can see that all users and groups are appearing over here. So if I navigate to from the tools and administrative tools and go to users and group, you can see all the users and groups. So we have administrator, we have auditor. Yeah,
I
please
have a
continue.
doubt
Yeah.
that whenever we do a backup, so where the storage will be stored, where the backup information will be stored.
Right. So there would be two sites.
Yeah.
First would be your DR site. Yeah. So there would be two sites.
Okay.
First of all, we would have the DR site. So whatever the vault we have configured here, similarly we would be configuring the DR site as well. So DR is nothing but just a replica or a mirror image of your vault server. Okay, that's an active site. So in case if your vault goes down, automatically the DR will take over the control. Okay, on top of it there is a backup site as well. So backup is something you can install in any of your component server. So going onwards, whatever the component server we are going to install, the Windows component server I should say, like CPM, PWA, PSM, in which we can install the backup. So it will keep on generating the backup from the vault. So that would be kind of cold storage, or it will not be something like the DR wherein if the vault goes down, automatically the backup site will come up. So the benefit of using a backup site is like you can restore the complete backup data from that backup site to the vault. In case if something messed up, you have done something wrong, you have a you have a option to restore that particular event from the backup site.
Okay. So there will be any components like any specific components like Vault or like this.
Uh, no, you can pick up
Backup.
any component server. I mean, if you want a dedicated backup site, that is also fine. You can specify a dedicated server that this is my server wherein I would be generating the backup of my vault. That is equally fine. So basically, you would require 1858 port connectivity from the vault to the vault from that particular backup server, or ideally the ideally I have seen that it's mostly in the component server because the backup is not something which occupies lot of space. So you can pick up any of your component server, maybe the CPM, PWA would do, because by default anyways you have the connectivity open from there.
Okay, in the case if we don't have any backup sites, so in that
Yeah.
case, so whenever we do the backup command on the CMD, like whenever we do like replicate.exe something for backup, so where that backup will get stored in the default.
So it yeah so backup would be always be on a dedicated server. It will not be, it is not something that we can issue some command at the vault level and we expect it to be generated at some remote site. So it cannot be the case. You need to invoke the backup from backup generation from the dedicated backup site itself. So what you would be do, you would be setting up the backup in one of the component server. You would be scheduling a task for that particular backup. Let's say if I want to generate a full backup on a weekly basis. So on a task scheduler, I will schedule a task for that backup to be generated. And on a weekly basis, maybe on Saturdays and Sunday when we do not have any load on the vault or any on the infrastructure, so it will start generating the complete backup from the scratch. So ideally, this is something the recommended practice, that you can install the backup utility any of the component server, or maybe if you want a dedicated server, that is equally fine.
Okay, got it. But what so okay, last question is that
Yeah.
so where we configure this backup utility, like where we configure, so whenever the command is executed on the CMD or somewhere, so where we configure that in which storage or which server it gets stored.
So from server perspective, you're asking is it Windows or Nix box?
Yeah, Windows.
Yeah. So
Let's
it would be
suppose,
always Windows. Yeah.
let's suppose it is a component server. We need to take a backup on it for security reasons, like whenever for a temporary backup purpose. Let's suppose we are doing backup on. component server. In that case, where we configure that whenever we do this backup command, so where we configure that this backup information will get stored.
Let me show you here itself. Just a sec. So this is basically the PVWA server of one of my environment here. Okay, we are yet to do the backup, but I'm just showing you where you can install this backups utility. So this is basically the backup utility that I have installed on the PVWA server, and you can see that the backup is being generated here. This is the peer replicate log file here. So whatever the saves I have on the vault, they are being replicated on my PVWA server. All the saves are replicated over here on this location. So if I show you all the saves here, they are being replicated over this location, and it is something which is scheduled through a task scheduler. So whenever something gets added up in my vault, the same gets replicated on the backup. So there are two types of backup. The first is the incremental backup, the second one is the full backup. Show you here itself. Just 1 minute, let me show you the location here. So here you can see that everything is backed up on this particular location. All of my saves are replicated here. The metadata and the data is being replicated on this PVWA server.
Okay, in the private folder, we have a safe folder. Okay, so in
Okay.
that safe,
So
this backup data will be displayed. Okay, thank you. Okay,
yeah.
please go ahead.
So you can pick up any of your component server. That is something you can pick up, or maybe you can set up a dedicated drive for the backup purpose. So whatever the backed up data you have from the vault, that would be that would be replicated on the backup side. So the best use case there is something that, let's say, if you have deleted some accounts from the CyberArk, so you want to restore it back. After some time you realize that you should have not deleted those accounts. So let's say if the backup has not replicated on the backup side, okay, the complete backup has not been generated on the backup side, you still have those accounts available on the backup side, though you have deleted from the vault, but they are, you can see that these accounts are appearing on the backup side, or maybe the safe is appearing on the backup side. So you do have a choice to restore that safe again to the vault from the backup side. The DR is the active replication side. So whatever the changes you are performing on the vault side, they are actively replicated on the DR. But backup is something a cold backup side. So whatever the changes you are performing on your vault, they are not instantaneously being replicated on the backup side. It will take a while because you have anyways scheduled through a task scheduler. So it will take some time. Whenever the task is scheduled to be executed, then only the backup would be generated here. So in that meantime, you have a choice to replicate, or you have a choice to restore everything from the backup. So that is something very beneficial when you have goofed up or messed up something on the vault. You can restore from there itself. So we will see both the use cases, that how the backup side works and how the DR side works. In case if your vault goes down, how the DR side picks up the control. If your DR also down, if your vault is also down, how you can use the backup, how you can restore a complete vault from the backup. What are the how we can configure all the components to talk to the new restore vault or the DR vault, and what are the use cases that are possible once you are on a DR invocation. So we'll see that. But these two users are very important, and these both users, the backup user and the DR user, they are not interactive, non-interactive users. That means you will not be able to log in with this user password. Okay. So the interactive users are basically the master user, the administrator user, and the auditor user. through that you can log into your vault. So whenever we install the vault, you would see that these are the default users that would be created on its own, and these users would also be the default users of any safe you create. So whenever I create a new safe, you would see these users will be created added as a member of that particular safe, because they have their own own actions to be done. So the backup will generate a backup, auditor will generate a report for that particular save, whatever the activities are carried out on the same. So once we jump onto the report section, we will see that what are the activities reports are there, what is the inventory report that we have, what are the entitlement report are there. So wherever there is a concern about the reports and the monitoring side, we used to refer this auditor user. This auditor user has access on all safes. It is not just on a single safe. Whenever a safe is created, it would have access on all the safes. So you can generate a report for any safe whichever you are creating in the in your vault. Then if you can see here, there are this safe I have just created. Let me delete this. Okay, now you can see there are three safes: vault, internal, system, and notification engine. Okay, so this is the most important safe, which is called system safe, because you can access any kind of log file as well as the configuration file remotely. It is not mandate for me to get into the vault always. I can simply install this private client's application in any of the component server, and I can have access to the system safe or any safe whichever I want to access to. So if I just open it up, okay, so you can see there are mix and match about the configuration file as well as the log file. So this is the log file, this is the log file, this is the configuration file, this is the license, this is the configuration file, this is again a configuration file. So we'll discuss them now. What are the different configuration file we have? First of all, you can see that we have a license file. So let's say if I were to replace a license, okay, I need not to get into the vault server itself. I can just update it the license in this system safe. I can just right click on store, upload file, and I can replace this old license file with a new license. So it's not mandate for me to get into the vault every now and then. I can get this done remotely as well. Then comes the ITA log. So ITA log is the main log file of your vault. Whatever the things which are happening on the vault, that are captured under the ITA log. So if you see
What do
here,
you,
whenever the vault, yeah,
what do you mean by do it remotely? Right now you're logged in into the private arc, right? And is this the only way to
right.
access this?
Right. So if you remember yesterday, we were installing the sorry, Vault, and
Yeah.
we had an option to define the remote IP.
Okay.
Let me show you here. Okay, so that remote IP is intended for the remote administration. So I need not to get into the Vault at all. Okay, I can
Okay.
get this. Yeah. So there are two things here. Yeah, this was the one. So you can see that I have specified the IP over here. This is a remote terminal IP address. So I can invoke the remote commands from any
O-
remote server. I need not to
Okay.
RDP my vault server at all. So first
Okay.
of all, what I'll do, yeah. So there are two things here. When we talk specific to remote here, there are two things. First of all, this private or client application can be installed in any server, any component server. You can install it. So for every log reference or maybe the configuration reference, you need not to get into the vault at all. You can simply install this private or client, log into this private or client. You would have access to this system safe, and you can refer all the log files as well as the configuration file remotely. Now let's say after replacing the license file, I need to restart the service of my vault as well. So for that also, I need not to get into the vault. I can get this done through this remote control utility. So I will show you just after that how you can invoke the remote control utility and how you can invoke the commands as well.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the ITL log. This is the main log file of your vault. So whatever the changes you are performing on the vault or whatever the issues you need to isolate, that would be provided in the ITL log. So if you see here that our server was up and so was our firewall. So this is something they are completely dependent. Whenever a server is up, then only your network would be up on your vault server. Okay. So as of now, we have just started the vault. We have just installed the vault. So there are handful of information over here. Gradually, once we keep on adding multiple components, we will be integrating with the AD. There would be corresponding logs coming up here. So just to show you some vault I have available here. Let me start this vault. So this is an old vault. We will be able to see a lot of information in the IATL log. So I just wanted to show you here. Let this be started shortly. So let's say if there is an issue that is happening in my happened in my organization, that users are not able to log in. So this is the IT logs that you would be referring, because as I said that every integration happens from the vault. If this is an AD integration, that would also happen from the vault. So if there is some sort of connectivity issues that is happening from the vault, that can be easily indicated on the IT log, and you can just refer this IT log to check that what went wrong on the vault side. So if I just navigate to the location where my IT log is setting, so yeah, let's say if some user is unable to log into the CyberArk, you can see this. So this information can be very well verified from the ITA log. I will let you know that what this information is all about. Okay, this is something that this user is not able to log in because he's not defined in the AD group. So once we integrate the AD, we will get to know that there are three groups that needs to be defined in the vault. And if somebody is not a member of those AD groups, he will not be able to log in at all. So here we can validate that why the user is not able to log in here. Or there could be multiple reasons that the vault itself is failed to connect to the AD. So here we can see that connection to fail to all AD, all host of cyberlab.com. So this is my domain actually, and CyberArk Vault is not able to reach out to the AD host here. So these things can be very well tested from the ITA log. There are other things as well. Maybe if my certificate is expired, so for secure LDAP we require a CA root certificate, and let's say if my CA root certificate validity is expired, in that case also I can check that from the ITA log. So there are other things as well. You can see this things. The DR user is suspended over here. Suspended is something that the password of this particular DR is expired, or maybe there were some wrong attempts done from the DR side. So suspended is something that you will be no more able to log into the vault at all. So once this DR user tries to generate a backup, he will not be able to allow to do so. So from the IT log itself, you will get to know that why the replication is not happening, what is the real case over here, and you can fix the issues accordingly. So there are a lot of information that is available here. It is not just for the user, but it is also available for the components as well. So here also you can get to know about the DR application as well. DR application was not complete successfully by user during the last 20 and 20 hours 38 minutes. So that is something very useful information you can have from the IT log. So this is the main log file of your vault. So whenever something concerning to the vault, you would always refer to this, or anything if an error is encountered. So there are some sort of naming convention for all the message and error information. So if something is starting with ITA, that means it's pertaining to the vault. You need to refer the ITA log. If something which is starting with CPM, that is something pertaining to the CPM only. So I will share you a message and response guide. So whatever the error you encounter, whether it is a CPM related, PSM related, PSMP related, OPM related, vault related, accordingly a message code would be indicated over here. So this message code, accordingly, you can check in this message and response guide, and it will indicate that which component is impacted and where you need to refer. So once you do the troubleshooting, you will understand that this component you need to refer the logs from. So this is the main log file of your vault, the IT log. The second log is the PAR agent log. So PAR agent, there are two things here. As we were discussing about the remote client. So remote client does the two things. First of all, it allows you to remotely access your vault. This is the as of now it is not populated here. Let me go to this location. So for referring the logs in the vault, you need to navigate to the program file x86 private arc server, and you can see there is a configuration file folder, there is a log folder. So all the logs are sitting in this logs folder only. So if I just double click this, so you have an IT log over here, we have just discussed about it, and there is a PAR agent log as well. So PAR agent is something which is intended for two purpose. First, the remote control administration. The second is the monitoring of your vault as well. So let's say if I want to remotely access my vault, okay, as of now we will just be doing it from here itself. I have given a loopback address in the PAR agent file. Let me show you. So this is the PAR agent configuration file. So if you can see here, there are two things: remote remote station IP. So these are the two IPs from where I can administrator my vault. I need not to get into the vault server. If I'm into this particular IP, if I've logged into this particular IP, I can remotely administrator my vault. Also, just to simulate some use cases, I have given a loopback address as well. So so from the server locally also we can invoke the command. So if I just open up okay, one thing I have missed to copy the contents here. Let me show you in the other server. So this is the remote client utility over here. You can see this. This is the PAR client, which allows you to remotely administer your vault. So if I just open this should be invoked through a command line. You cannot install it. It is nothing like you need to install something. You just open it in the command line. So I will go to my command prompt over here, and I will type PAR client, followed by the IP address from where I am invoking this particular command, 127.0.0.1. Okay, so this is now initialized. Let's say if I want to see the status of my vault. So I need to specify the password here. So you can see the vault is running. Let's say if I want to stop the vault as well. So I've just uh, I'm just stopping the vault here. These are the things that you would require sometimes when you are doing some sort of changes. So you might need to restart the vault, because that is something which is needed whenever you make any changes in the configuration file. There is something called db param that we are going to discuss shortly. So whenever some changes are done on the DB param file, you need to restart your vault services, or maybe if you have replaced the license file, after that also you need to restart the vault service. So you need not to get into the vault server whenever a restart is required. You just invoke this command line from any remote server. Let us start the vault as well. So my vault is started. If I see the status here, my vault is running. Now let's say if I'm not sure what are the commands are there for this remote control administration. These are the just handful of commands that we have executed here. So let's search the help option here. Okay, just help we require here. So these are the things that we can do remotely. We can see the service status as well. We can get to see the memory usage as well. We can also remotely reboot the server as well. So I need not to get into the server physically. I can get this rebooted from the remote console itself. I can also read the logs here. You can see that there are some logs here. Get log. I just need to name the log name and the time frame for which I want a log frame to be displayed over here. Start stop status, we have already seen that, so that we can perform as well. Just 1 minute here. Then if there are some services that you want to check, you can see the service status as well. Show activity status of the system services on the remote machine. Service may include wildcards. Okay, so let's say if I want to check the, let us check some services here. Sorry, this private is unknown. Let us check with the vault name. Mm, it's not displaying. Okay, yeah, I got it now. Service name. I think I private arc. Let's not. It's not displaying any service here. We check it. Okay, I will execute this command tomorrow. Let me show you which can be done as of now. So, but this command is important actually used to work. I think the format I'm not using correct. So here we can see the physical memory as well. Let's say if I suspect that the vault is going very slow, or there could be some memory issues on my vault. There could be some process that might be consuming some high memory. I can get to see the memory status as well. So you can see that there is a physical memory, swap memory available over here. So I can check this remotely as well. Now it is not possible for me to every now and then execute the command and check these parameters remotely. Rather, I would expect that I could set up some thresholds. So whenever that threshold is breached, or maybe this threshold is touched, I want to have an alert generated. So this par agent file serves two purposes. First is the remote control administration. Second is the monitoring as well. So we discussed yesterday that there are two files, the MIB files 1 and MIB file 2, and CyberArk support the SNMP traps. So if you have this MIB files available, you can share it with your respective monitoring team, and you can specify the thresholds over here. So in the par agent file, if I show you the sample one, so these addresses are basically the remote station IPs from which you can invoke the commands remotely, and these are the SNMP host IP. So this is the monitoring server IP you need to specify over here. Okay. Now these are the thresholds that you can specify for the CPM. If my CPM goes 90% within 3 times in 30 seconds, it will shoot up an alert. If my disk usage goes 85%, this disk space is specifically to the C drive. It is not D or E, because where you have your operating system is hosted on a C drive. So that is something, if your disk space goes 85% 3 times in 30 seconds, it will shoot up an alert. Physical memory as well, 90%. Swap memory is 90%, and threshold service status is 3 times as well. So if any service gets restarted 3 times, it will shoot up an alert. So as of now, you can see something, what are the services which are being monitored here. So these are the services which are being monitored: private arc database, CyberArk logic container. I will tell you what are the main services of a CyberArk once the vault gets installed. So we are yet to cover that part, but these are the principal services of your vault: private arc database, private arc CyberArk logic container. So the par agent file is serving two purposes. First is the remote control administration. Second is the monitoring of your vault server as well. And this explains better. For every configuration file, you have a respective sample file available in the vault as well. So this is a sample par agent file which we are referring. Here we have all the details handy. So what needs to be defined in the par agent file, you can refer from the sample file. So you require 162 port to be enabled from your vault server to the monitoring server. Uh, that is something for the monitoring perspective. You need to enable this traffic so that it can send the traps. Traps are nothing but it is just the threshold information that would be sent to your monitoring server, just to check if the traps are being sent to your monitoring server. You can just downsize the number of threshold value. So let's say on whenever my vault reaches 90%, okay, it will shoot up an alert. Rather, if I want to check or validate the if the traps are being issued to the monitoring server, I can downsize this particular value. So let's say if the CPU value is 5% as of now for my vault, or 3% as of now, or the memory is 58% as of now, which is being constant for some time. So what I can do, just to validate it, I will downsize the threshold value to 40%. So ideally, since it is 53% as of now, it should shoot up an alert. So by that, I can validate that whether my monitoring is actually working or not. So this is important because the vault won't support any other monitoring agent to be installed. The SNMP is the only solution which the vault supports, and accordingly you can monitor your vault with the threshold values that you define under this par agent. So this is the first configuration file, par agent, and the corresponding log for par agent is the par agent log file. So let's say, so you can see that no target SNMP host defined. So as of now, we have not configured the monitoring server for our par agent. Remote notification component is disabled. Private arc control remote control is up. So this is a service for the remote control administration. Let me go to services so we can basically have understanding around it. So this is a service, private or remote control agent that serves two purpose: the remote control administration as well as the monitoring of your vault server. Now you have the main service for the vault, which is called a private arc server service. If the service is down, that means your complete CyberArk is down. That is something the main key service of your vault. And if I just right click here, go to properties, go to dependencies. So you can see this CyberArk logic container is the dependent service for this private server service. So if the logic container goes down, the private service will also go down. So that's the reason why we are monitoring the private logic container service here. So if you see this, you can see this private logic container being monitored, and private database is also monitored. So if we go to the next service here, database. Now, if you see here, the following system component depend on the server. If this database service, if this database service is up and running, that means the logic container would be up and running. This is a dependent service for this. If this logic container is up and running, that means your vault service would be up and running as well. So there is only dependent service we are monitoring through the SNMP traps, because if any of these two service goes down, your CyberArk private arc server would be going down. So that's the reason we are just monitoring two services. These are the principal services of your vault. The first is the private arc server service. Second is the database service, and the CyberArk logic container. So this is the logic container service. Even if I stop the private arc remote control service, it won't impact anything. So let's say if I stop anything here, okay, this is stopped. So if I see the status of my vault server is still up and running. There is no change in it. If I stop the notification engine, that is notification engine service is something which looks after the notification to be issued to your SMTP server. So if I just right click here, so this is CyberArk event notification engine. So this is intended for sending the notification to your mailbox. If I stop this service as well, okay, it won't impact my vault either. You can see that vault is still up and running over here. Okay, but if any of the dependent service got stopped, maybe the logic container or a database service is stopped, then there is a real-time issue, because it will impact my environment. So if I just stop this, this is the main service. If I stop this service, you can get this stopped either from the service console or get this done from the server console as well. Now you will see the change here. Let me restart it. So now this is no more showing the status because we have stopped the services. If I start it again, so both the private server service or from the console, you can get this service started. So now you can see the server is up and running. The firewall is open for client communication. So this par agent file is the first configuration file we have, wherein we can configure the SNMP traps as well as the remote administration. So these are the MIB files that would be available in the setup files of your vault that you need to share with your monitoring team. So this is nothing but the identification of your vault server. You know what type of identity marking or something that is mainly primarily for your monitoring server to.
Okay, so I created the LD file for attribute creation. So let me open that. This is the CLD file. Just copy this and put it in some location. That is the LD file for object class creation, and this one is for attribute creation. This is for object class creation. Just
So Manju, these will only run if we connect to the VM, correct? Until unless we connect to the VM, all these we would not be able to create on the Wipro
yes,
laptop.
understood. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Others can meanwhile actually copy this and put it in the server so that we can proceed with object class and attribute creation. And later I will help people who are not able to connect actually once these issues are sorted. Okay, let me share my screen, please. Monitor my screen. And please. Okay. He's saying like he will fix these issues by 12 p.m. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, please monitor my screen. So we have to upload this to some location. Let me create a folder. Let's go to this location. Let me create a folder of scripts. Maybe you people can create a scripts folder under Oracle. Loading this. We're going to OUD instance location as Oracle products OUD DS1. Just was been before that, let me go and show you how to stop and start the services. After that, we can start. See, under this is the OUD instance location where from where we can manage OUD from command line interface. Actually, these are all the various tools available for managing OUD. For now, let's focus on like how to start and stop and find the status of the server. So to find the to start the server, we have to run the start ds. Let me show you. Let me stop and start again. Restart. So for stopping, actually we need to run stop -ds, which will stop the directory server instance. Same for replication server or proxy server. For all the server roles, we have to use stop ds. To find the status of the server, we have a status. Just run that status ability. You can see the server status. So server is currently it is stopped, and also we can see what is the host name and installation path, some of the version details and port information. Okay, how many entries are there? What is the root content, etc. Status. To start the server OUD instance, just we have to run start -ds. So which will start the OUD instance. So these are all the three command line interfaces for starting, stopping, and finding the status. We have one more option, like we can restart. We can use the restart option also. Okay. So this way we can start and stop and find the status of the server. If your server is running, if you want to use the status command, it will ask for a cn is equal directory manager pass credential. Just you enter the password. Password for all the directories or instances, it is welcome123 wcaps. So you can see server is started and this is running on this port. Okay, this is the LDAP port and LDAPS port. Are you able to start, guys? Who are able to connect to VM? We are able to access VM, and please try to start OUD server. Go to this location and just you have to run that start -ds. It will start the OUD instance. Please start. So LDAP port is 1389. So what we are doing is let's create attribute. Let me open. You can see we already discussed about this attribute will be created under schema scene is equal to schema. We are using syntax modify. We're adding attribute, this object identifier, and creating a blogger attribute. This attribute type, the varchar attribute, it's a directory string. Okay, it's a single value attribute. We are creating the attribute. We have to use here. We can see there is a LDAP modify command. We have to use hyphen. Let me the hosting of this server. Host. So we have to use LDAP modify hyphen h. Hyphen h is used for representing. I mean mentioning the host name of the server. Hyphen p port number of the server. Hyphen p we have to specify port number 1389. I'm using the LDAP port here. We are using LDAP port here. If you're using LDAPs, we can use LDAPs also. So for now, hyphen port number, hyphen d for mentioning the directory manager username and password. So cn is equal to directory manager, and hyphen p for mentioning the password on terminal. Welcome 123. Hyphen a add we are using hyphen f file path where this file is available. So we can specify what we're doing blog dot ldip. So here cn is equal to directory manager. We need to put it in quotations. Okay.
Isn't it W for password? Hyphen W.
Yeah, hyphen w. Sorry, hyphen w. I use p. Sorry. This is okay. I'm not using the updated one. Sorry. Just I'm making the changes in different ways. So we have to specify. See, now we have created attribute under schema. So automatically it will be added into schema. So just I'm paying this command, which are so this way we can create a attribute. Now let's create an object class. Same command we can use. Just change that blogger blogger.ld. I mean, we need to use ld file which we are using for creating an object class. So see, you can see object class is also created. So this way we can create attributes and object classes. Normally in any LDAP project, normally we'll have a lot of attributes. Actually, we have to create a LD file. Let's say we have 100 attributes. What we can do is we can add all these attributes to this LD file. Let's say we have a 100 attributes, attribute 1 to 100. We can add all these attributes to the LD file, and we can run the LDAP modify command, which will add the attributes to OUD schema. This is just a sample example, and we can see while creating a multiple attributes, we can use this. I mean, attribute type. We can increase this value by 1 or I mean, we can use same format, but we can make some changes in between actually. Let's say instead of 73, you can use 75 and start increment from there actually, 1, 2, 3, something like that. So that for 100 attributes, you can use 100 attribute types actually. Okay, and syntax based on what type of attribute you are creating, we can specify the syntax here. So same way, while creating a object class also, say there are multiple attributes are available. Let's say there are we create 100 custom attributes. That 100 custom attributes we need to tag it to blogger object class. What we have to do is we need to in the end actually we're specifying attribute name, right? We need to use a dollar specify the next attribute space dollar next attribute name. Okay, that way we can add multiple attributes to OUD schema. Okay, this way we can create attributes and object classes. Okay, and let me show you where it will be. Products. Go to OUD config. You can see schema. You can see this 99 user.ld file which is created. To this, it's added. See, these custom attributes are added, and object class is also to see attribute. This is the attribute which we created, and object class this we created, and this attribute is tagged to this object class. Okay, guys, try to connect to OUD VM and try to add these attributes and object classes. This is the first thing we use when we start the directory project initially. Before start of the project, we have to create attributes and object classes. Post that, we need to start the container creation and users and etc. groups etc. creation. Okay. Guys, please work on this. Post that, we will see how to create a containers. I mean, or various organization units under CN is equal, sorry, DC equal to example, comma DC equal to come. And we will see, we'll try to create a users a group container. Under that, we'll try to create some sample users. Please work on it. I already shared the required LD files. Please try to connect and try to create attributes and object classes. Post that, we'll start with other things. If you're facing any challenges, please share your screen. I mean, those who are not able to connect, actually we are working. Remaining people can share your screen and will help. Let me stop sharing.
Hello, Manjana.
Yeah.
I missed those starting steps in the SSH. So I'm able to connect with the CMD. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first step will be for the start, it will be this one only. We
So
have
we
to
need to
run
go,
this one.
try to connect to server. You're able to go to the
Where?
OUD instance location. Go to OUD instance location.
This one only. Okay, wait.
Go to terminal.
Here.
Okay. You are not connected. You connected. Okay, CD to that CD just slash Oracle. Let's see. Space. You are not connected, I think. It's you are not
This
connected.
one's
Connection reset actually. You can see that it's not connected.
Yes,
Still you were
yes.
in Windows,
I'll
right?
connect once again.
No, there are some challenges actually. Tejesh from AWS is working actually. He will update on that. Try to connect again. Let's see if you're able to connect, please.
Okay.
So can't you use Putty or Mobile Extra tool on your laptop?
No, no.
Putty, I think Putty and WinSAP is allowed. I think Mobile Extra may not, but Putty and WinSAP may be. If you're using Office laptop, yes, you can install. I think,
Yes.
yeah, I think Putty and WinSAP will be allowed everywhere. I think so. Maybe try to connect. Let's see from here.
It is established now.
Now it is connected, right? Maybe it's working. Fine. Now try to go to that location, CD
CD?
slash Oracle. Just click CD/Oracle. Just no. You
Sure.
need to use Oracle slash.
Okay.
No.
CD?
CD space slash. No, not this one. This is for
Okay.
Windows. You need to use yeah. Just enter. You were able to connect now. So go to CD/Oracle. No, other slash. No, give space.
Okay.
You can use no slash. No, like CD space. No, between slash and CD space should be there. Let me give you the path and just go to that. Putting in chat. Just take it from chat. Others, please try to create an attribute and object class. Assign it to assign that attribute to object class. Remove that. There is a 2/1.
Yes, yes. Space should be there, no?
No, there is no space.
Okay.
Yeah. In the end, you can put bin. No space. A bin.
This one?
No. In the end, OUD/bin.
Win.
Bin. BIN.
B VIN.
Bin. BIN.
Okay.
B for
No,
Bombay. B for Bombay.
Sorry. Okay, bean. I'm sorry.
Enter. Yeah, you were able to connect. LSA penalty. Space LRT. Yeah, you were able to connect
Space?
now. No, that
Okay.
is fine. You are able to connect now. So what you can do is you can go to Oracle folder, CD/Oracle. You can create one folder called scripts. Under that, you can copy that blogger and blog.ld files. I mean, create that LD files and try to use that LD modifier and create uh, attribute and object class.
Okay.
Others, please try to connect. Maybe
I'm getting the failed issue.
no, use the public IP. No, you are using a wrong.
Okay. I've used this actually.
No, that is the private host name you can see, right?
Okay.
No, this is where is that? Go to instances and which one is allocated to you? Yeah, here you can see 5266 249 176. That is the public IP address. Use that.
This one.
5266 249. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I've used that only previously.
use that IP.
Okay. Initially I've used that actually.
Try to use IP. Okay.
That only I got error.
The host key verification failed actually. Give it try again. Just to give it try. I mean, AWS admin is working on it actually. So just to give it try. For those it is not working, just try to connect it. Click mention type yes. Type yes.
So ready? Yes. Okay.
Yes. Enter the password of that server. Solaris, and I think now you are able to also connect. Just Solaris @123 is there, right? Just type it or copy paste. You want to have the password? Let me ping.
1, 2, 3. This is the one, right?
It's a Solaris @123.
Actually typing, but it's not.